So one of my favorite ways to naturally integrate these into conversations, obviously this depends on like how many people are involved, what the environment is, etc. But what I like to do is if there's a little bit of a pause or silence or something, I will essentially be like, so I have a really serious question for you. I love doing this if someone has just gone to the washroom or if I'm coming back to the washroom and we're kind of entering a new bit of conversation, is I find that's a really good way to enter into it instead of just like randomly asking, which I will do sometimes, but I find it kind of eases it in and it kind of like brings it as a joke, like being like, oh, I have a really serious question for you, and then going to something that's a little bit more out there or just different. Like I really like using the would you rather wash your brain in hot or cold water in that situation, because obviously that's not like a really serious or intense question. So I kind of find being able to bring it in like that is a great way. Another thing you can do is if this is someone you're just starting to get to know, or if it's in a friend group or something, be like, oh my god, okay, I have 5 questions that I've been loving that I want to hear your thoughts on. If I'm on a date or something, what I love to do is be like, okay, so I have 5 questions that I love to ask people when I'm just getting to know them. I need to ask you them. Another thing you can do is just be like, so one thing I need to know about you is, and then go into a question. I feel like there's a lot of ways that you can phrase it that kind of goes more organically. I feel like the more you ask these weird questions, I feel like the more that they flow. I also have crippling ADHD, so if someone is just like speaking of something, I'll be like, oh my god, that reminds me. And then I'll say something. That just happens, but I feel like that's another thing. It's like if someone brings up something that reminds you of that question, you'd be like, oh my god, that actually reminds me, and then ask it. Another thing I've done is kind of make it a game on my phone. It's a different list that I have that it's essentially letters that I've gone through A through Z. This I do love to do on a date. I'll be like, oh my god, okay, do you want to play a game? And I feel like people never say no. So what you'll do is you'll be like, okay, I have questions A through Z on my phone. What we're gonna do is you're gonna say a random letter and I'll ask the question and we'll do that vice versa. So it just goes back to back. I think that's really good. Also, if you're on a date with someone who's not a great question asker and you're like, oh my god, I don't want to keeping up this conversation, or you're like, oh, they don't know anything about me, that also is just like a really good fun thing to do with friends. So yeah, those are some ways that I like to like naturally integrate them. I feel like the more you start to kind of find ways that work for you, the more you get comfortable doing them. So yeah, I hope that helped.